they'll be calling you a radical, another version of mall walkers versus internet shit talkers. So the misinformation that is being spread on the internet, the judges, who they're the ones that spread, the people that are taking down videos and taking down stuff, false claims, we've declared it false. Their committees, they're the ones putting out false information. For instance, yesterday. Now, I want to ask you kids, by the way, Trump and Obama, there's no difference. I like everybody's been calling that Trump's the counterculture. And Obama was the president of environment, president of anti-war. Remember, he was elected anti-war. So it's been all over the debt. Of course, the debt deal. We go back to 2011 on the debt deal. And let's make a deal. And right after Fukushima. And it came down to a sacrificial lamb. We're going to kill Bert and Ernie, pull the plug on PBS, give it all to the Koch brothers, or are we going to cut the food inspection? Now, right after Fukushima happened, you can't cut the food. Oh, they cut the food inspection. So, the fact is this. So it's being said all over. Now, I want to ask you guys, and this is the misinformation that Google puts all over the internet. Well, whoever, USA Today, all these people that, and they're the police. So they're trying to tell you that, okay, Trump ran $7.3 trillion of debt, okay, in 4 years, in 4 years, 7.3. Is that the most in 4-year period in history? By far. Obama ran 9-point-something trillion in 8 years. 8 years. Remember, it was the Teabagger Congress, and you can look up their last act was to kill sea lions for eating salmon in Oregon. Look it up. Look it up. So I want to ask you guys, and they're saying that 7.3 in 4 years is less than 9.1 in 8 years. Can you do math, kiddies? Can you do math? Can you do math? We know which one's the most. Well, they're both ridiculous and hideous. The two debtors. Fiscal responsible GOP, tax the future, give to my friends. And the Dems, the party of environment. Fukushima. The party of labor. We can slave-made goods abroad. Childhood slave-made goods abroad. They're the party of environment. No, they're not. No, they're not. That's long ago. It's like, yay, you're branded like a football team. Who's the most expensive franchise in sports in the world right now? The Dallas Cowboys? Yep. Dallas Cowboys. Now think about it. That's probably one of the losingest franchises in the last 25, 30 years in the world. When's the last time they won a playoff game? When's the last time they were even in the championship game? Oh, well, I just love Troy Aikman. He's my favorite. I love Roger Staubach. He's my favorite. We like them Redskins. Yeah. What Theismann? What? Branded. I'm a Laker fan. I'm a Celtic fan. I'm a whatever. I'm a Jazz. Well, they never won nothing. There's choke artists in world history. So who's putting out the misinformation? My favorite one, Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't. Pat Tillman fought off 9 million. It was his mother had to dig through FOIA documents and found the spray that had to expose that he was killed by his own men at close range. Jessica Lynch earned a Congressional Medal of Honor. She had to sue to give it back. How about this one? Iraq did 9/11. What? No, they didn't. They had nothing to do. Went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get Dick Cheney and friends. Because here's the Democrats, the party of peace, right? Anti-war. Let's think about this. Here they are on the Senate floor giving one of the greatest war criminals in human history a standing ovation. Dick Cheney. Yeah, that's your left. Warmongering freaks. What about Fukushima? What about the cover-up of Fukushima? Does that prove anything to you? I asked Trump from here to there. In Salt Lake, it was on Fox News. Trump, you going to talk about Fukushima? Yes. Did he? No, he met with a bee 17 times. We know having that bee. Woo, 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 woo. He never mentioned it once. First person into. I was there. I was at the White House that night. You, Bernie, you. That's all we heard. So who's putting out the misinformation? We know that. And they're the police. They're the police. What is misinformation today will be recorded knowledge tomorrow. How about the dead tide pools? Remember when? I mean, people were arguing with me. Oh, that's in. Now we know for facts Kevin Blanch was right. How about the salmon collapse? We know now that Kevin Blanch was right. So you can't even hypothesize. You can't do what a traditional great PhD and a great scientist would do. And because what are you going to do? You got to go rogue from the establishment. Why would it be when he came to the United States, go to MIT Media Lab? Oh, he did. It was our group that tracked it down. Now, who's the misinformation? So, I mean, really, honestly, Trump and Obama, oh my God. What's the difference between the two? Nothing. One word. And slide on Biden. One word. But now the GOP, they're all gung-ho on fiscal responsibility. Got to cut the... What? 7.3 trillion in 4 years. Now, which is more, 7.3 trillion in 4 years or 9.1 trillion in 8 years? Come on. Are we that anal? You know, we can do first grade math. It's pathetic is what it is. So, what about the Fukushima cover-up? What about none of them will even say the F word? Now, you think about that. No one will even mention it. Army Corps Engineers classifies Kevin Blanch. And you think about how this is played out. I mean, of course, I agree. There's a lot of psychosis out there in the internet. But that's the First Amendment of the United States. All we want to talk about is the Second Amendment. Johnny, you got his gun. When you go buy your F-16, I hear they're for sale. Then you get a Lightning at 35. Oh, wings. We will pretend the military industrialized war complex. Don't cut that budget. And, we're going to pull the plug on kids, youth, for our young adults. They're not kids. They're young adults going to college. Shouldn't that relief because, corporations, that didn't cause any death. This is another one of their fallacies. Morning.
Morning.
So one of the big fallacies. So, no, the corporate tax rate, it didn't create any debt. And then they turn around right out of the other side of their faces. Only 2.2 trillion. Only? This is where we are in this country. We are only 2.2 trillion. Trillion, billion, million, gazillion. It's so large and so out of control that people can't even do math. We were having a discussion how many millions and billions are in a trillion. And with my grandkids, they got to figure it out. They know. But people can't even comprehend it anymore. Where's all the money go? The military and industrialized war pigs. Oh, wings, we will defend. Let's see, went off to Afghanistan to kill the Taliban. Went off to Iraq to get Dick Cheney and friends, a big old sack. Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. No, he didn't. No, now, what happened to Colin Powell? Whoa. What happened to Rummy? God, no. Can you believe that freaking creepo? Multiple myeloma? Oh, that's blood cancer. Both of them. Whoa. Well, these people will double down and get into bed with these. I go back to Ed Snowden in 60 Minutes. It took Leslie Stahl and Lake Barrett 2,888 days on 60 Minutes to tell you what Kevin Blanch told you in the first hour. I mean, the American populace, it takes them about 6.5 years to watch 60 Minutes. Because they're paralyzed. They're paralyzed with political dogma. They're in their red dogma snuggie. They're in their blue dogma snuggie. It's a football game. They're in there, so they got everybody all wound up and caught up in social issues. God's gays guns, God's gays guns, God's gays. They don't even wrap their mind around these heavy issues and these deep, big issues. Longevity, their lifespan, their health, the military budget's so out of control. The true environmental issues that affect every single one of us. So we're afraid of nuclear meltdowns until they happen. Then it was, why are we spending all this money? Bradnet, et cetera, if, we're scared to death of nuclear meltdowns. Until they happen, then it's see no nuclear energy evil, smell no nuclear energy, hear no nuclear energy evil, taste no nuclear energy, speak no nuclear energy evil. I mean, I go back to the great activists, one of them in history. Jesus? Oh, yeah. Yeah. How about that guy? Calabunga, dude. Michelangelo. So he had to live in fear all those lives, and all he did was shelter his own friends. Free radicals versus post-ignorance. What's a free radical? Remember that? Trying to team me up? Remember that whole thing? I'm going to do an art show one day inside the Enola Gay. I already got permission. I've already done it. Free radicals versus post-ignorance. So, what's a free radical? When they're coming at me, when they full well know I'm on death's doorstep full of AML, leukemia, giving 2 months to live, I'm plumb full of free radicals. They're cancer cells. What else is a free radical? Oh, when we split the atom. So, here's the biggest misinformation that's being spread all over the internet. By who? The very people that say they're the police. Nuclear energy renaissance. Okay, can we do math again? Let's go back to more math. These people cannot do first grade math. Let's go back to first grade math because they're politically paralyzed. Left pill, right pill, they're gonzo. So let's do math. We put on some reactors at Georgia that were $7 billion over budget, 7 years late. Well, $13 billion over budget. Billion. They're not million, billion. So it's clean, it's green. What about the uranium centrifuge process? They've been fined at Los Alamos. They got fined by the DOE today. Here's a penny fine. Here's another couple hundred billion, gazillion, trillion. Rain, star powered Earth, Livermore, California. That's their logo. By the way, Kamala Harris's mother was the epidemiologist there. She died of cancer. Look it up. It's like people on Beau Biden. Beau Biden is not Hunter Biden. Beau Biden was in Iraq. Did they use depleted uranium and white phosphorus on their own men in Iraq? Unarguable, documented fact. Now again, the irony of this is that the people that did that, Rumsfeld, died of blood cancer. Does depleted uranium, where does it come from? White phosphorus, where does it come from? Nuclear energy reactors, it's the byproduct. You got it. Beau Biden died of brain cancer after being over there. And yet we're going to fact check. Fact check? You don't know shit. Who's spreading it? Nuclear energy renaissance? Let's review in the last 10 years. So one reactor, Ed Vogel, there's 2 or 3, right? I think there's 3 reactors there. Okay, so kids, which is more? 7.3 trillion in debt in 4 years, or 9.1 trillion in 8 years. Which is more, kiddies? Okay, this is their fuzzy math. This is the new math, the nuclear math. So 3 reactors go on. Should we review how many gone off? Fukushima, how about when Kevin Blanch and friends kicked that over at San Onofre? They were never going to close. That's the big one. TikTok deal. There's 2 reactors there. Down. Dwayne Arnold. Down. 1. Cahoon. 2. Down. How about Oyster Creek? All the reactors in Jersey, I think 8 down. Pilgrim. Pilgrim's at 3, right? In Boston. Down. Yankee. Down. That's 2. How about Indian Point, New York? That's at least 2. Maybe 3. Down. How about Palisades in Michigan? That's a couple. Down. I won't stop there. And that's just the ones I can shoot off the top of my head. Now, which is more? Well, I can think of about 26, 24 down versus 3. Now, which is more, 3 or 6? Nuclear energy renaissance, uranium stocks rally. Yesterday they passed a bill. Yay. And all the bill says, and the uranium stocks rally, all the bill says that the NRC is required to review the process. Now remember, on these SMRs, now remember, the SMR, this is important. You won't read this on the internet. New Scale. New Scale is Jose Reyes, the CEO, Oregon State University. No, Idaho National Lab. That's where he worked. So when the NRC, who now they got a review, Trump appointed her head of the NRC. She worked at Idaho National Lab with Jose Reyes. What? Well, she's got to recuse herself. No, she approved the license. Now, Bill Gates is going to build him a camera where the white buffalo. By the way, the white buffalo calf is a hybrid. Okay, it's a hybrid. It's bred part buffalo, part white cow. Does that count? Well, I think it's perfect for the SMR because it's a hybrid. Talk about a fast breeder on Balco. At the same time, Bill Gates is there. Utah's funding. Now, why would Utah be funding? Why would Utah be funding SMRs all over? Because they're wannabes. They're imperialist wannabes. That's exactly what they are. So, back to this new, we're going to promote. Utah, all of you have been looted in your sleep. People don't even know what I'm talking about. Your bill. I was head of the AMPS. I was part of the group that got AMPS through. It was for Windsor. So I was there fighting full of cancer because I lived at the LDSC State bone marrow transplants. Right across, my doctor comes in and says, Kevin, look at this. From Copenhagen, one of the greatest oncologists in the world from Copenhagen, who saved my life. Here, look at this, Kevin. They're over across the street at the Capitol Day. I'm sucked up to nothing. I says, well, I'm quarantined. I'm going to write you a hall pass. With 2 nurses, I go over there and go at it with them. It's me versus them. I'm in critical condition through memory growth. Whoa. Fighting with them. Now, they're going to change the law to say that nuclear energy, nuclear reactors are renewables. No. They had to get the law. Oh, they passed it. Well, and you got me against teams of attorneys. It was just me. But I did get Blue Castle thrown out. You know, remember that? That was a lead dog hedge fund. I'm the guy that exposed that was not true, and it was a Ponzi scheme. See, you have to have the original funding. So you look up New Scale, the original funding. Kenwood Financial. Now look up Kenwood Financial. Kenwood was a Ponzi scheme. The South American gangsters doing life in prison for it. That was the original funding. How did they get it through? That was Obama. Remember when Obama came to Utah? I'm screwing my head. This is what it's all about. These SMRs. I tried telling people that, and they wouldn't listen. And so that's exactly what it was. Why would Utah? So Governor Cox, who I know personally, who's the most ignorant governor, he won with 36%. So Chris Stewart resigning, there's more to come on that. So Governor Cox speaks at the Bear River Massacre. Now, think about the irony of the Bear River Massacre and the white buffalo, the hybrid, being born on the Bear River. Well, so I've been going to the Bear River, which they used to call the Battle of Utah. They changed it to the massacre. I've been going to that ceremony my whole life. And so it's a big deal. My mom's from Lava. Ella Potter Hunter is my mother, the historian. So I learned about the truth of that. Women and children, 512 of them, as they slept at 30 below zero. Real battle. So one of the surviving little kids that survived that day, I knew personally here really well. They were Shoshone here in Utah, in Ogden. So I'm still friends with her daughter. So she's the one that told me the story of the elder painting his dreams at Bristol Bay. So Governor Cox speaks at the Bear River Massacre. I'm like, what is he doing? I interviewed Sean Reyes, our Attorney General, who's not from Utah. And I asked him, everybody's saying that you're related to this Reyes, this New Scale reactor. And he's like, I'm not related to him. But he is related to the madman in the Philippines. Remember that dude? Yeah, he's his nephew. He's not from here. Sean Reyes, he's a Berkeley guy. So I asked Sean, point blank. He's a nice enough guy. Doesn't do anything. Well, he went to Nevada, rallied for the big lie. And so he says to me, I'll make it very clear, I'm not related to him. Well, what about these SMRs right over the hill? You know, we're testing right here over the hill at New Scale. He told me straight up to my face, I got to tell you, I don't know what those are, Kevin. Biggest crime being perpetrated on Utah. This is the state attorney general. Well, you remember Swallow. Did you know the state of Utah gave Swallow a check for $1.5 million? Yeah. They passed it. Why? Why? You know, remember his on the door for sale, and the feds went after him, not guilty. Okay. Remember Shirtliff? Oh, well, so Reyes. So, but then he turns around. It's on video. He turns around and comes to me and he says, well, I want to make it very clear I'm not related. Okay, I believe you. He doesn't know what they are. So Sean Reyes, or excuse me, Governor Cox speaks at the Bear River Massacre. He is like the most puppet fool I've ever met. That's saying a lot. Dirty Herbie was smart. He was just a weasel. He just, well, he was lied to me on Nuclear Waste all the time. He was so good, passive aggressive. That's what they do in Utah. So he says to me, I says, he's up on the podium speaking at the Bear. I mean, so in your face. The reason we're here for the first time in Utah is because this was Utah territory when this happened. So I waited till he got done. I videoed it. He was running for governor. And I'm like, why? I believe he was the lieutenant governor then. I'm like, why are you airing your ignorance in public, Spencer? He says, what are you talking about? This was never Utah territory. You said this, well, it was Washington territory. Frankly, it was never Utah territory. That's not what we were told. I said, told? I thought he was a leader. But he didn't show up to the Enola Gay Hangar ceremony, which Sudoku's great grace. Now, you know who's Sudoku, holding paper cranes. Do you know about that? You know, World War II, after the bomb? It's a great book. She folded 1,000 paper cranes. She didn't get to 1,000. She got to 644. So, and of course, died of leukemia at 11 years old. Now, the Enola Gay flew out of here in Utah. People don't know that. And I'm part of the group. Me and Jim has been such marquee in the work he's done at the, I've been hanging around in there doing ceremonies and doing activists at that thing my whole life. It was in disarray. It was falling down. Thank God I got out there and me and Patrick McCormick did so much great work before they remodeled it. And so, now, of course, the Air Force has claimed it back because it was private money that redid it. Of course, it's theirs now after private money did it. So, all the bunkers, all the work, I got to sit. So we had a ceremony. And it was Japan who asked us to come. They reached out to us at the Enola Gay Hangar and says, we'd like to come. Sudoku's great niece and nephew, who are celebrities in Japan, would like to come and would like to reach out the olive branch and heal this. Yeah, we'd love to have you. So they come. International media from all over the world. Was Governor Cox there? Well, he wasn't governor then. He was lieutenant governor. But he sure showed up the Bear River Massacre. Now remember, Governor Cox told me he didn't know what an SMR was at Weber State when I asked him about the nuclear waste. Remember, one of the first things he did when he became governor, at Buffalo, he signed a deal with Bill Gates, of all people, to build an SMR factory in Kemmer, Wyoming. Now, Bill Gates was there the same time as the hybrid White Buffalo was born, the calf. Whoa, Calabunga, dude. Whoa, Kevin Blanch, the new Michelangelo. Ooh, and you don't think I can sculpt? Go look at the tree in the Children's Museum. Oh, I sculpted that. So, Calabunga, dude. So, inside the hangar, we have the ceremony. There she is. Sudoku's incredible, beautiful, great niece and her great nephew. She walks right up to me, tears in her eyes. This is for you, Kevin. Thank you. Because I wasn't sequestered in Japan. They all know me over there. When the Prime Minister of Japan walks up to cancer victim, 7th generation Utah, where the Enola Gay was flown out of, his father was nuked to death in Nevada, in the Nevada test site, standing on the state line to pull water into uranium 238 to 235. So it's biblical. So the great activists, Jesus, through the money, the prosperity got, all the lies get pushed through the internet. So she hands me a recycled paper crane fan made at the permanent vigil. And they know that I'm the guy on the peace vigil, the second longest vigil probably in the world, in D.C. I mean, I knew him personally. I've been there since 1979, you know, and so, I mean, I like Craig Thompson's story he always tells. Craig always says, he comes in and says, the first time I met Kevin Blanch, he was with Jesse Ventura, which I was for 2 days at the Peace Vigil. So she presents me that. So they present a real paper crane. What is blaring through here? Somebody's got music cranked so loud when I turn it off. So, because they'll copyright it. Yeah, they're blaring it hard. So we'll have to continue this outside. So they'll claim copyright on it. So she presented it to me. I got to hold it in my hand, a real paper crane. No, we'll continue.